Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backshot Boxing. Now, man, wild stuff, man. Oscar De La Hoya exposes Canelo Alvarez on Twitter, man, for ducking big homie Jamal Charlo, man. Now, it's wild, man. Canelo was helping this kid with some boxing technique, and Oscar De La Hoya happened to be watching, and he said, man, your technique is awful. You're flat-footed when you're throwing those hooks. You're not ducking after the hook. Your technique's off, man. And by the way, you're ducking Jamal Charlo. Now, in this post, he tags Jamal Charlo instead, but he meant Jamal, the guy who's the closest to Canelo Alvarez's weight right now, the current WBC 160 champion right now. Now, I'm going to get some quotes for you guys. This is what Oscar De La Hoya said. And first, he talks about the kid, helping the kid out first, and then he gets into the Charlo thing. But he says, and I quote, "Please, this guy does everything wrong. Head up when he throws hooks. His heels flat-footed. What else? Oh, he avoids twin Charlo." So that's what my boy Oscar De La Hoya says, been exposing Canelo Alvarez for ducking Jamal Charlo, man. And this is a really big deal. People have been saying this for a while now, that Canelo Alvarez has ducked Jamal Charlo. He ducked him at 160 when he was the 160 mandatory. And I understand this. At one point, people were blaming Oscar De La Hoya for the fight not wanting to happen. Now, if you guys didn't know, when Canelo Alvarez fought Arizona Lara, Oscar De La Hoya said that was too much too soon for a Canelo Alvarez. But, Canelo Alvarez went through with the fight and he fought Arizona Lara. If Canelo Alvarez wants to fight someone, no one could really stop him, because Oscar tried to stop him fighting Arizona Lara, and the fight happened anyway. Now, that being said, he could have did the same thing for Jamal Charlo, and I personally believe, well, not personally believe, Oscar De La Hoya exposed it, that he was avoiding Jamal Charlo for a reason. He did not want to fight the kid, right? And now that Canelo Alvarez has left Golden Boy Promotions, and he's now, I believe this is his last fight with Golden Boy, or he's gonna find someone else. But he's no longer with Golden Boy. He has one more fight left with Golden Boy, and we're gonna see how Canelo moves from here on out in his career. We don't know what he's gonna do. Some people think he's gonna sign with Eddie Hearn or Matchroom. Maybe he might go to MT Clay Global and go over there in the UK, which I really doubt, because they're not really an international company. They don't have any big events happening in America. They don't have any big American fighters signed. So that'll basically leave millions of Canelo fans that are North American based out of the loop. And, that's just, it wouldn't make any sense, right? So basically, Canelo's options are limited to Top Rank and PBC. And yeah, man. So we're going to see how Canelo moves from here. And with the fight with Caleb Plant being a PBC fighter, there's a good chance that he's moving toward the PBC fighters, because a lot of the top fighters, a lot of the big names are in the PBC. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out. All I know is usually what happens with these people sign these deals, they basically are mandated to fight certain fighters in these fight deal contracts, right? Think of Andre SOG Ward when he fought Sergey Kovalev. When Rock Nation signed a guy, they promised a Kovalev fight, but he had 3 tune-ups to get to Kovalev first. So we really didn't care who the tune-ups were. We just knew by the third fight there was going to be a Kovalev fight. Will they do the same thing with Canelo Alvarez? We will see, man. But this is a really big deal, man. People have been calling for Canelo Alvarez to fight these top fighters like a Jamal Charlo, like a Demetrius Andrade for years now. And we've been calling it out. And now that basically Oscar De La Hoya has no monetary gain to get from Canelo Alvarez, he's spilling all the beans, man. He's spilling all the beans. Enough beans to make a burrito. Pun intended. Now, it's crazy, man. The thing is, since there's been a lot of talk to the Canelo Alvarez has not fought any undefeated Black American fighters, right? And you know, this is true, man. You know, since last time he fought an undefeated Black fighter was Floyd Mayweather, and that's almost a decade ago. You know, that's a very, very long time ago. Since then, I mean, he hasn't fought anyone of note that's an undefeated Black fighter. He's been avoiding them, right? After Floyd Mayweather, there's Angulo, a Mexican, Erislandy Lara, Afro, you know, Cuban, James Kirtland. He was on the down end of his career, on his way out. Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan, Leo Smith. All these fighters are, well, I guess Daniel Jacobs, but he wasn't undefeated, like I said. You know, Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding these undefeated Black fighters in their prime, you know, because that's your prime when you're undefeated. Canelo Alvarez hasn't fought them. And understand this, you know, when you got a twin like Jermall Charlo, and you got a just as exciting fighter in Jermall Charlo, you know, Jermall Charlo's going in undisputed at 154. And when you have a fighter that looks identical to another fighter, and they're both elite fighters, the casual fan is just going to see that and assume they're the same person. Even hardcore boxing fans get them mixed up. Even Oscar De La Hoya got them mixed up. He tagged the wrong Charlo. He tagged his brother. So that being said, you know, if they fight 2-3 times a year, one fights 2-3 times a year and the other fights 2-3 times a year, it's like you're fighting 6 times a year, because the casual fan's always going to get them confused. So there's a lot of market value in having a twin who's just as exciting as you, and who has somewhat of a different style. Jermall Charlo, he's a knockout artist, but he's much more structured in his approach. And Jermall Charlo, he'll box, but then he'll just go wild on you. So they have two unique styles, and they're really exciting though, because if they want to stop you, for the most part, Jermall Charlo's getting a lot of knockouts. And Jermall Charlo, you know, he's been knocking guys out left and right. So that being said, man, you know, Oscar De La Hoya, man, exposed my boy Canelo Alvarez, man, spilled the beans, and we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. Anyway, you know, I could talk more about this, but I probably have to make another video about it. They said Oscar might make a comeback. Will it be against Canelo? We will see, man. We will see. Hate, like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace. Geoboxing Empire.